ready for this class, you'll be needing your notepad, your pen, your Bible, and of course maybe a glass of water. Stay tuned because the class promises to be an interesting one. The video will play shortly. Enjoy.
Good day. My name is Victor Adeleke, and it's my privilege and my pleasure to welcome you to Hsdc. Today I'm really excited to be talking to us about a very important topic that is titled leadership and followership. First, I'd like to define what is leadership. Leadership is defined by so many people in different frames, in different aspects, in different perspectives. But the title or the definition I'd like to speak to today is leadership around inspiration and influence. So leadership is defined as a process through which a person inspires or influences another person or a group of people towards a desired goal, towards a desired objective, towards a set target. So you can imagine how important this is. People have vision, the group have vision, countries have vision, an organization have visions, they have aspirations. Same with the spiritual body like the Church of God. And it's very important that we have very strong leadership for us to be able to achieve that. Also, leadership becomes not being able to stand if you don't have followership. So there is no strong leadership without strong followership. So followership, on the other hand, is the ability or the process by which a person or a group of people humbly follow or subordinate themselves to a leader. So it's very important for us to have these two in parallel. For you to have good leadership, you need good followership. And without good followership, you cannot have good leadership. So it's very important that we talk about that. Another thing that I'd like to talk to us about today is different views around how leaders are made. Some people think that leaders are born, while other people think that leaders are made. I'm happy to tell you today that leaders, some are born, and you can also make leaders. There is nothing like I'm not a leader or I cannot be a leader. Anybody that desires to be a leader and is willing to learn the rope and to follow people and to follow God and to follow the precepts and all the skill set that is required to be a good leader can be a leader. It is also important that I speak to you and dissuade your mind around the thinking that leadership has got something to do with authority or position. In fact, there's a very strong difference between having authority and being a leader. There are leaders that operate not necessarily by being in positions of authority, but they influence people and make things happen. So it is very important that the essence of your leadership is not as a result of authority, is not as a result of the position that you occupy. It should be based on the fact that you are solid, you are admirable, and people are willing to follow you with or without your position. So it's very important for us to know that anyone can be a leader, and there are leadership at all levels. You don't have to be the CEO, you don't have to be the head pastor, you don't have to be the president, you don't have to be in very senior roles before you can be seen or before you can act as a leader. So it's very important. Some people are born with some leadership skills. You see some people as they grow up, they have a lot of charisma, they have a lot of courage, they have a lot of social skills and emotional intelligence and all the skill sets required to bring people together, while other people learn all this art of leadership, learn all these processes, learn all these skill sets required to be a leader, and they eventually become a good leader. So leaders can be made, and also leadership and authority are not parallel. You can be a leader and not necessarily be in position of authority. Another thing I'd like to state to us today is there is what is called the cost of leadership. Leadership is not free. If you choose to become a leader, you will have to let go of some things. So when you choose to be a leader, you have to sacrifice some things. You sacrifice your time, you sacrifice your will, you sacrifice your wish sometimes. There are a lot of times as a leader that what you need to do is what you believe is right for your people. What you believe is right for your people, even when it doesn't go well with you. Leadership is all about people. Leadership is all about people. Once again, leadership is all about people. It's not about yourself. It's not about your wishes. It's not about your wants. It's not about your desires. It's not about your aspirations. It's not about what you want to achieve or all things that's got things to do directly with you. It is all about the people that you lead. Why is it very important to have leaders? It's very, very important to have leaders because really without leadership it's very difficult to achieve anything. It is very, very difficult to achieve anything. We've also seen it even with countries. We've seen countries with very huge natural resources and human resources but unable to achieve anything just because of bad leadership. And we've seen other countries that are not as blessed as the other ones, both in terms of human resources and natural resources, but just because they have good leadership, they are able to achieve a lot. There is always a saying that they say that an army or a group of sheep led by a lion would do so much more than a group of lions led by a sheep. It is very, very important to have strong leadership. It is very, very important to have selfless leadership. It is very, very important to have a person in a position of leadership that is selfless, that is sacrificial, that is visionary, that is all about people and targets set for people and to prosper the key things that people want to achieve. So another thing about leadership is that it grows people. When you are a leader, you attract people, you groom them, you get their life on the right track. You ensure that they don't derail, you ensure that they do not only achieve the organizational goals, but they are also able to achieve their personal goals. A lot of us, we allude to the fact that in this life, majority of the achievements we've made are essentially based on the fact that we were led by the right set of people, we were guided by the right set of leaders, we were mentored by the right set of people that drove us towards the ambition, that ensured that we stayed on our lane, that ensured that we did not derail, that ensured that we were able to achieve what we had set out to achieve. So apart from talking about the essence of leadership, it's also important to speak to the characteristics of leadership. It is very important to note here that although there are several types of leadership, the leadership that we're talking about here is spiritual leadership, being the Church of God, and our role model when it comes to spiritual leadership is Jesus Christ. In fact, the Great Commission speaks to the essence of leadership, which is to go out there and make disciples for Christ. So when we talk about leadership, the first characteristic of a leader is that leaders initiate change. An example to talk about here is the life of Moses. As a leader, you cannot lead an organization, you cannot lead a set of people, you cannot lead a person, even if you're a leader to just one person, and just leave things or run things the way you let it. There must be an improvement. Even for a system or a person that's been doing well, there is what we call continuous improvement. Things must get better. Things must get better. And one thing that people do not really want to do is they don't want to change. People are familiar with a certain process, they are familiar with a certain attitude, they are familiar with a certain way of doing things, and they want to keep to that. So as a leader, you must be able to initiate changes in all aspects of things that you run with. Another thing is that as a leader, you must have a sense of timing. A leader cannot just be running things without a target. You should have a certain time for a certain target, and you should be able to chase that so that you can carry your people along, so that you can provide vision for them, so that you can provide direction to them, so that you can provide support to them, so that you can provide all sort of things that you need for them. Also, as a leader, you must have very strong interpersonal skills. You must be able to carry people along. You must be someone that's able to talk to people. You must be someone that is able to blend with people. You must be someone that is able to bring people together. You must be someone that is able to listen to people. That's also one characteristic of a leader. You must be a good listener. You speak less and listen more. You should not be a leader that when people come to you without listening to them, you already know the answer. People want to be able to talk to you. People want to be able to empty themselves and open up. People want to be able to open their hearts, open their mind, and get it reviewed before you give them guidance. You shouldn't be a leader that before people talk, you say, look, don't worry, I already know what you want to talk about. This is the answer. It shouldn't be like that. And as a leader, you should also be vulnerable. Do not pretend or act as a leader that knows everything, because really, we do not know everything. In cases where you need to see additional guidance, leaders also have leaders. There are different levels of leaders. There are things that your followers will come to you on that you should be able to humbly tell them, I do not have an answer to this at this time. Give me some time. Let me check with another person that I also count as a leader or that I see as a leader, and I will get back to you. That speaks to authenticity. You must be an authentic leader. You must be an authentic leader. And you must be vulnerable. You must be vulnerable. You must be open to your people. You must be sincere with your people. You must be willing to work with them and be very, very open to them. That's very, very important aspect of leadership when we talk about characteristics of leadership. Thank you. In continuation, there are a lot of questions that people ask. Why must I be a leader? Why do I need to be a leader? What is it mean for me? There are a lot of benefits of leadership. One of the benefits of leadership is succession plan. Most organizations, most countries, most entities are unable to keep their success stories or keep the current tempo of whatever they're doing just because there is lack of succession. It is very, very important that you have strong leadership for us to maintain good succession. We see in several countries, we see in several organizations how they are able to seamlessly transit from one phase of leadership to the other one just because of very strong leadership. It is also very important to note that another benefit of leadership is growth, and this growth is mutual. You grow people that are following you and that you are leading, and you also grow yourself. As a leader, the more you lead, the more you are able to grow yourself. The more you are able to see yourself more, the more you are able to understand yourself more, the more you are able to even understand your temperament and all other aspects of yourself. So it's very, very important that you note that it's very, very key to have strong leadership for us to be able to have strong succession. And that is a benefit to an organization, to the Church of God, to any entity that you're looking at. And also you grow the entity, you grow yourself, and you also grow the people that you are leading. It's a very, very key aspect in terms of benefits of leadership. It's also very important to note that there are certain styles and certain ways through which you can recruit people, especially around succession planning. The very first thing is that as a very good leader, you must be able to recognize potentials. You must be able to see people that have leadership potentials. You must be able to see people that are amenable. You must be able to see people that have started in one way or the other to show some leadership signs. And you must be able to pick that up and begin to groom them towards becoming a better leader. Another thing that is very, very key to raising new leader is you must be a good model. Most leaders complain about their inability to raise new leaders, but when you check with them very well, you will find out that they themselves are not living what they want to see. If you're a good leader, you will attract other good leaders. If you're a good leader, you will also be able to raise new potential leaders. So you must walk the talk. You should not be a leader that is telling people to do something and you're doing something else. One of the key ways to which you can build new leaders is to live a lifestyle that you want people to imbibe. It is all about telling people to live as I live, not just live as I say. It is not just about saying it, because like we always say, talk is cheap. You must be a model. You must be a good model as a leader for you to be able to have people that will live that lifestyle and also be able to become good leaders. And you must be able to sight potential. You must be able to go for it. You must be able to support it. You must be able to groom it and provide all the natural, physical, and spiritual nutrients for that leadership potential to grow to a strong leader that you will be able to successfully hand over to ensure that you entrench that very strong succession planning that would ensure that your good work is not spoiled or is not damaged or is not destroyed after you have left. How do you train followers? When you've seen good followers and you are acting very well as a good leader, it is also very important for you to know how to train them to continue to be strong followers and to also probably mature some of them to very strong leaders. The very first thing is that you must believe in them. You must believe in them. Believe on people, it's a burden. There are a lot of people that are unable to do some bad things just because they know that they have a leader that trusts them. You will see some young people, a girl or a boy that will tell you, I can't do this because my father will be disappointed in me. Because there's a certain belief that that father has in that daughter or that that father has in that son, that it's a burden to that son, that is a burden to that daughter, that makes that daughter or that son to feel that I cannot do this because I don't want this person to be disappointed in me. You have to be such a leader that believes so much in his people, that believes so much in his followers, so much so that this belief becomes a burden to your followers, that makes them to want to do the right things, that makes them to want to do the things that you expect of them to ensure that they stay on track and they continue to do all the things that you expect them to do. Another key thing is that you must spend quality time with your followers. You don't want to have followers that you just leave to do things in line with what they wish or how they will. You must find time to call them, to visit them, to check with them, to ensure that at all times they are kept on track and they are kept in line and they do not derail. It is very, very important as a leader in terms of training your followers to spend time with them and to believe in them. Another key thing is that you must motivate them. Motivation is very important. A lot of times your followers may have challenges that will weaken them, that will demoralize them, that may probably make them to derail. It is part of the arrows of the devil to make them leave the way. You as a leader must be there to motivate them, to encourage them, to tell them about the fact that the future is bright, to ensure that they keep their gaze on the vision, they keep their eyes on the target, and ensure that they do not derail. You must always be around. It is likened to being a shepherd. A shepherd must always be around the sheep. If not, an animal, a dangerous animal like a wolf, will come around, and probably eat or destroy or kill the flock. It is very, very important as a leader that you are around and you spend time with your follower to grow them. Another thing that I've spoken about is that you must be an example. Christ is the biggest role model for all of us in Christendom. However, we as his ambassadors on earth, especially people occupying leadership position, must try as much as possible to be an example to people following them. It is very, very important for us to lead by example. It is very, very important for us to walk the talk. It is very, very important for us to know that we have a lot of people watching us, a lot of people modeling their life after us, either passively or actively, and we must be responsible. We must be cognizant of the fact that we need to live right, we need to lead people right, we need to encourage them, we need to grow them, we need to build them for Christ in line with the key assignments that Jesus Christ has given us, which is to go into this heart and make disciples for God. God bless you and stay
Hi again, I hope you enjoyed the video. You can watch it again in case you missed anything out. And don't forget to send us your details, follow us on our social media space, send us messages on WhatsApp so that we can add you to the group and give you all the information you need. I really hope you are blessed. Thank you.